put your number. Don't put your number.
I'm not putting my number, I'm putting your number.
That's my room.
Okay, put my number.
I'm hungry.
Okay, well, don't be such a baby. I cooked you some bacon for a trail snack.
I ate it already.
What flavor coffee is that? Up dog?
What's that?
I don't know. Nothing. What's up with you?
It is the Al Travis Show, and probably just right on time. Thank you, God. We've got Shannon Watson on the program with me. She's going to help fix me. Shannon, how are you?
You know, I'm surprised because I did not expect to see or to hear Gilmore Girls in your bumper there. That was unexpected. Was a Gilmore Girls clip.
Yeah, somebody the other day asked me, too, because he got some newer clips in, and did you know what movie that's from? And I don't. The young man who puts these together is in an entire different generation than I, and I trust. I mean, I hear them and think they're kind of funny, whatever they mean. Don't know all the movies. I asked him to stay with the Casablanca era. That's me. He couldn't do it. So, yeah, it's fine. I didn't know that was Gilmore Girls. Now I'm smarter now, having just
Gilmore
talked with you
Girls is
today.
a great show. The one about that's my room, so put my number. That's a great show. And it's like evidently 25 years old, which makes me feel very, very old.
So we can steal it. You know that rule. Okay. Yeah, we're all getting older.
We are.
I want to desperately believe between majority and the middle, you, the braver angels. I'd throw a little bit into this show that at some point this ball that has been rolling, in my opinion, downhill of the negativity, the bisecting of America, that you're either on my side or you're not, and if you're not, then you're the enemy. That at some point we're going to be able to get this ball to stop rolling downhill, get it start going back the other way, and realize, like I think it was my day. How old am I? But 30 years ago, people got married. They had different political beliefs. It wasn't the end of times. It wasn't the end of the world. It was like, okay, we're going to go cancel each other out at the polls. Yeah. Okay. It isn't that way anymore. I talked about a young lady that has been a friend for years. I've known her since high school, and posted some stuff, and we went around, and I was considering dumping her on Facebook. I don't want the negatrometer anymore. I just don't want it.
Yeah.
She heard it. She went crazy, and all the other. Anyway, fine. Yesterday, day before, a friend of mine that I've known for 35 years, because I literally enjoy this human a ton, put something on. If you're still behind Trump now, you're, what was it? Rich, stupid, or a racist. I said, what kind of conversation starter is that to put on anything, anywhere, let alone your social media?
Right.
Went back and forth, and I finally said, well, I know I'm not rich, and I know I'm not stupid, so I must be a racist. I just found this out, Shannon. I just found out I'm a racist yesterday, and I'm feeling horrible about myself, and I'm thinking to myself, I got to get this off my Facebook stuff. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute, would Shannon take these people off her Facebook stuff? Because I want at some point them to realize that we can have a better conversation than that, but we're not. If I cut him off, then he's just going to have his people saying, yep, they're all racist, and that's all he's going to hear. When do I get my peace of mind, or do I not? And you live this, so I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And yes, and and it's interesting because usually hey, I'm considering exiting this relationship is conversations that I have from people who are more on the left side of the relationship. They say,
sure.
I can't do this anymore. And the thing that I have reminded them, and that I will remind you, is that nobody ever changed anybody else's mind by exiting a relationship. And that's sometimes a sacrifice, and sometimes a thing that you have to do for your own governing of how much negativity that you want, especially when it seems to be directed at you.
Well, see, and the Trump thing, how do I put this? Yes, I'm a Republican and a conservative. He is the guy in charge, and I understand that. But I'm the first person to rip him. I don't like the way he talks all the time. I don't like some of the stuff he does all the time. I don't like this continuing resolution, quite frankly. Get a bill done like we're supposed to have done. There are 12 appropriations. I'm not behind it. Right. But now I'm a racist or an idiot, and I'm like,
yeah.
I can't win the fight either way. I'm not happy with my team. I'm sure not happy with the other team calling me names. And it's the calling names thing. Shannon, I'll bet you $100 if it wasn't for this show, you and I would never be at the same cocktail party.
True.
Okay. And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
circles, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But if we ended up at the same cocktail party, you and I could talk and get along.
Absolutely.
I don't believe you would ever call me a name. I don't think I'd ever give you a reason to call me a name, but you get my point.
Yeah.
I do this with 30 guests a week. Not all of them believe the same thing I do. Even those that believe the same side who get mad at me. I'll tell you what, I think Tom Emmer got mad last time he was on because I said, get the appropriations bills done. Stop. And he was not happy because I think he thought it'd be. But my point is, you hate me then, but call them names. I don't know where we gotten to this point. I'm so upset not knowing what I want to do because I want people to see that I talk to 60 people every other week and I don't call any of them names.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a deliberate choice not to engage in that. And it is really, really easy. This is where conflict, there's a term that Amanda Ripley had coined. It was conflict engineer or conflict entrepreneurs. And the best example of conflict entrepreneurs is cable, quote unquote, news. People who are just spouting a lot of stuff in order to rile you up and keep your eyeballs. And there's, conflict entrepreneurs on social media. I have expanded the term to include conflict ambassadors. So people who amplify other people's conflicts because they like the drama.
I call that my in-laws. Sorry, is that out loud? I should not have said that.
Well, and part of the challenge is that we have set it up as this binary that okay, if you think this way, you must be A, B, or C.
Yeah.
And the sort of top level like thinkers in this space talking about how we really need to listen to each other. Mm-hmm. And not just listen to change somebody else's mind. I mean, you mentioned Braver Angels. Braver Angels is great at, they have, that's their core thing that they do, I assume still. Yeah. The core thing that they do is these trainings about how to talk about these issues without calling people names, without, doing this stuff. But the core of that has to be the listening. Like, I have seen people on my Facebook feed say the same things that you have from both sides. I have also seen people who are like, I legitimately want to understand. Can somebody who supports XYZ tell me why? Because I don't want to assume that they are A, B, or C, but I don't understand. Sure. And I think
but that's a post. That is a legitimate post. That is a legitimate thing to ask another human being, listening for understanding. I will throw out to you, and I hate to give credit where it's due, but you brought up maybe a month ago when we were discussing guns, the Second Amendment, and you mentioned it's the fear thing. One person's fear, the other person's fear, me, a fear of not having the ability to protect myself, other people's fear that if Al has guns, he could hurt somebody. Right. It's both fear. Changed the way I looked at this. It absolutely changed how I look at this, and I want to know that same dynamic, and I'm going to have to sit with you and have cocktails sometime, on all these other subjects. Why is if we're going to use what's bothering this, continuing resolution, good God, how often do we actually talk about continuing resolution? But because this is going on, and now the government shut down, now I'm a racist. Can somebody please explain to me those gut feelings about it? When you told me this was my safety thing, that made sense to me. I don't know what it is here to a point where a friend for 35 years will call names. You know what I'm saying? I want to find out what that is. You were the one who broke that for me in the Second Amendment, so I give you credit for it. I think we have to bust everything down to that so that I can understand. I get fear.
Well, and some of that is that we have conflict engineers and conflict entrepreneurs and conflict ambassadors in organizations that are designed to divide us. And division is enormously well funded in this country. And to get people to do stuff, happy people are really hard to motivate. So to get people to do stuff, to vote, to donate, to be politically active, whatever, you kind of have to keep on that fear and anger cycle. And the best way to do that is point it at the opposition and say, this is what the problem is. And so I think the turning point of a few years ago when everything became sort of a moral argument. You know, oh well, it's a moral thing. I don't necessarily feel like some of these things are moral, and maybe that's just my perspective, or maybe I'm willing to give a little extra room in the argument space. But when you line it up as, well, this is absolutely morally right or absolutely morally wrong.
Yeah. See,
very few days that don't come with body counts should be.
God love you, because you're hitting something just like I wanted you to do here. See, I think there's some of that. When I say fiscally, I don't believe we should spend money on this, and someone says morally you're wrong.
Yes.
Like, it's $1.00. What are you talking more? Social Security, forced savings account. That's how we started. We've gotten off track, and I don't, now I'm morally wrong. It's like,
right. Well, if you have invested in that, I'm morally right. How hard is it to get off of that position? Enormously hard.
Especially when you put morals on how I spend my money, which I suppose there are many ways of actually doing that, but by child labor. Okay, yeah, I get it. There are things that are, right. But on my general life terms on how I spend my money, I don't think of it all that morally. I got to go to break.
Cool.
Loving you, Shannon Watson. She's Majority in the Middle. It's majoritymiddle.com. She had some success. It isn't just me getting free Dr. Phil advice here. Some successes we're going to talk about right after this on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
You know that car sound that sounds like a cricket playing a banjo? Jay's can fix that. You know when you step on the brakes and your car sounds like a pair of tennis shoes in the dryer? Paul is the guy who specializes in that. And you know that sound that never happens when the mechanic's around? Paul took a whole course on that. If you own a car, you need to know Paul. Paul owns Jay's Auto Shop, 202 North Main Street, Blue Earth, 525-1052, 525-1052.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
Grateful to have her. She is Shannon Watson with Majority in the Middle. I was scrolling through my phone and, my cigar order's on the way. Fine. In LinkedIn, live radio. On LinkedIn, I see a big kudos to you, as far as you know, the first of its kind, the city of Lakeville became the first city to take your Minnesota.
The
What do you
Civic
call it?
Pledge
Oh,
for Stronger Minnesota. Yes.
congratulations! That's a good city right there. I've been through Lakeville. It's a good city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
You know,
people.
it's awesome. When we were doing this this tour of different cities and doing in-person events, a reporter had asked me about the elected officials who were in attendance, and I thought he was asking about legislators because that's where a lot of the attention had been. And then he followed up with, "Well, yeah, but wouldn't it be nice to have the entire city council here?" And I'm like, "Well, it would, except that the
That
city
it's a
council
meeting.
has open meeting law." Right. They cannot all be at the same event at the same time because then they would have a quorum, and that's not good. So actually the only way that a city council can come together and do that is a part of a meeting. And Lakeville did that last night.
Well, congratulations to you. Who now, was it an unanimous, as they say?
Yes. Yeah. They all five said yes, that we should do this. And so they made up a proclamation and made that as part of their city council last night. And I know that there are some other cities who are working on it as well. Lakeville just got there first.
Folks don't get to see it on radio, and hopefully you can hear it. But the smile that comes across your face as you're telling that story and how proud you are, and you should be, that it's catching on, that all five of these humans, I presume both sides of the fence, I don't know, the city council, you don't have to pick a side, but all said, yeah, we can do this. We need more of that. Hopefully it catches on, but to see your smile as you're doing it, you got to watch it on the YouTube channel. you just happy. You should be. That's what you've been working your butt off. That's what that's all about, and I love that they did it.
Yeah, I agree. The best part was I didn't have to be there.
Wow. They can. Grown adults can make this pledge without Shannon Watson being in the room, really.
Absolutely. Yes.
That is
yes. And that's the
outstanding.
thing. Of course, the pledge, I'm getting a lot of credit, mainly because I'm sort of driving the show.
Yeah.
But the pledge did come out of What We Can Do Weeks, which is a collaborative effort with Majority in the Middle and a whole bunch of other organizations. So
where can we find that website? Is like What Can You Do Weeks?
WhatWeCanDoWeek.org.
Okay. So go there and you can look at that. Take a look at the pledge. I'm not a big pledge guy personally myself. We should just do it. But if this is going to help you do it, go read it, because you can't. I don't know how you'd argue with a word of it. This is how I'm going to act. I'm going to make sure this is good. I love that. I'm going to have to bring it to some of my. Could we make them make the pledge on Facebook?
You could do that. There is a form that you can add your name to the list, and the list isn't published yet. I need to get on that. It's one of the things I haven't done yet. But yes, you can e-sign, or you can download one of the little certificates and have a signing by yourself. Or that's the other thing. We've been on a tour, and we have other places who are asking us to come do an event. I'm happy to sort of go wherever. So if people are interested in that, reach out and we'll see if we can put something together.
I love that. It's majoritymiddle.org. Majoritymiddle.org. It stands for Majority in the Middle. Thank you. You know, I love having you on the program. What else? Any other news stories real quick in 30 seconds? Any more?
We had the final of our State of Bipartisanship
right.
press conferences on Friday. Had 4 legislators standing up there with us, which was awesome because, again, I didn't have to do all the talking.
And you can catch that State of the Bipartisanship report on majoryinthemiddle.com. It doesn't cost anything. You can go right to your website and take a look, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. Shannon, thank you for the Dr. Filling. Thank you for doing that for Lakeville, and thank you for taking care of all of us. It's Shannon Watson, Majority in the Middle, on the Al Travis Show.
Tired of one